A woman named Anne is seen talking to a client. Anne is a lawyer who is defending the girl in court. Following the trial, the lawyer escorts the client away from the public eye.
Pas de photos, s'il vous plaît, ma cliente est mineure.
After her workday, Anne heads to the gym for her workout. There, she is greeted by her daughters and her husband, Pierre. Pierre is departing for Geneva, and his son, Théo, has reported a dispute with a teacher to the police. He arranges for his daughters to take horse riding lessons. Anne also visits the salon where her sister Mina works. She confides in Mina about Théo's situation. Mina's husband, Luca, comes to work with her. Their relationship is complex, and they have a falling out at the salon's entrance. Anne is happy to see her nephew and inquires about the toy he received from his father. Anne offers to take the boy to her, but Mina declines. When Anne gets back from her day, she cleans up Théo's things in the living room before putting them in his room. At that time, Théo gets out of the shower. Anne tells him to be careful not to leave things all over the house. She shows Théo a closet where he can keep his stuff. Anne notices that Théo has grown up fast. During lunch, the daughters ask Théo about his day. Théo comes to join them. He asks for a cup of coffee. The sisters give Théo's brother a present. The next day, the lawyer comes home sooner than expected. She deals with work issues over the phone and comes over to the house. When she gets there, she finds a keychain by the door. In the nursery, Théo and his sisters are happy to see their mom. That night, Pierre eats his dinner and talks about his job with his wife. Anne listens carefully to her husband's worries. She suggests he take a break. The couple shares a kiss. Afterward, Pierre talks about his time with his son, saying he's unhappy with the dad's involvement in the girls' lives and his absence from the son. To lighten the mood, Pierre decides to go to bed. In the morning, Théo is caught smoking in his room. His dad scolds him for his behavior. Anne goes to the salon to pick up her sister. The ladies get to Anne's place and see the house is messy. Anne tells her husband about the missing bag, her own. Théo comes back home, and Anne tells him to check his room. At the office, the attorney conversed with clients, Sarah and her father. The father was awarded guardianship of his daughter. Overwhelmed by emotion, he accidentally spilled a drink on the attorney's desk. Anne's skirt got stained, and Sarah looked on with worry. At her house, the woman was sorting through clothes for the washing machine. She noticed Théo's pants in the laundry and decided to wash them as well. From the pocket of the pants, Anne pulled out a keychain she had picked up on the street. Anne decided to talk to the man about the keychain. She believed that Théo had intentionally made it look like he was involved in a theft. Théo became defensive when confronted by the woman's accusations. She proposed that if Théo were to try to fit into their family, he should keep the theft story a secret from Pierre. Later, Anne went shopping for beach supplies. Théo came to her aid, and Anne invited the man to join them by the river. In the outdoors, the girls and Anne enjoyed a picnic. Théo savored his burger. Anne mentioned she would stop buying vegetarian steaks. Théo relished the meat. After their meal, Théo and the twins went for a swim. He encouraged Anne to join in the fun. He playfully teased her by pretending to submerge her head underwater. Anne playfully retaliated. They returned home feeling cheerful. On their way back, the girls dozed off. Upon returning home, Théo assisted Anne in carrying the girls to their room. The following day, Anne and Théo are having a conversation on the porch. The young man is puffing on a cigarette, and Anne is curious about his initiation into smoking. She also inquires about his tattoos. Théo suggests he could tattoo Anne on her arm, and he proceeds to do so himself. Later that night, the young man brings his girlfriend Amanda home. He introduces her to his stepmother. As time passes, Anne and Pierre have guests over. Anne's spouse shares a dull tale about toads. Théo plans to ride his scooter to the store and invites his stepmother to join him. The protagonists head to a pub for a drink. They discuss the young man's girlfriend, and it's revealed that Théo doesn't have romantic feelings for her. He ponders whether Anne harbors feelings for his father. Anne shares details of her personal life with the young man. Upon returning home, Pierre is upset with Anne for not welcoming her husband's friends. In the subsequent scene, Anne is talking to Mina. The sister mentions her latest crush. By the time Pierre gets home, Anne has asked him to look after the kids. Meanwhile, Théo and his sisters are having fun on the trampoline. Pierre gives his daughter a hug and tells them about an upcoming business trip. In the evening, Théo is engrossed in a soap opera. His stepmother enters his room, and he invites her to watch the show with him. When Anne sits beside him, they spend some quality time together, during which Anne asks Théo to let go of the past incident. Pierre comes back from a business journey. He discusses his professional activities with her. Anne is plagued by feelings of guilt. As time passes, it becomes evident that Théo is deeply involved with his sisters. He documents their responses to a variety of inquiries using a dictaphone. Théo is keen on having Anne also participate in the interviews. Anne divulges intimate stories to Théo, who is genuinely interested in getting to know her better. Anne cautions the individual to maintain a safe distance, yet Théo kisses her. This gesture brings a sense of excitement to Anne. A few days later, Anne visits a client who is acting oddly, prompting the lawyer to involve Child Protection Services.
T'as pas envie de te promener?
The specialist assigned to the case requests an investigation into the girl's family. At a subsequent event, it's a birthday celebration for the twins. Anne's daughters, along with the other kids, are unwrapping gifts. They request their mother to fill a water gun. Anne enters the barn, where she encounters Théo. He aims to help ease Anne's stress. Mina notices Théo. Mina is furious at her sister's actions. Mina and her son return home. The celebration goes on, and Pierre captures a video of his daughters extinguishing the candles on their cake. The following day, Anne waits for Théo in the backyard. She's eager to have a conversation with Théo. However, Théo becomes upset with Anne for not wanting to talk. He insists that their bond remains a secret. Anne decides to leave the man. Théo assures her that his girlfriend will feel envious of his relationship with her. He sits down with Pierre for breakfast. The woman enters from her run, and Théo observes them. Pierre expresses his desire to spend the day with his son at the cabin. In the night, the daughter inquires about their father and brother's holiday plans. Anne shares their typical activities at the cabin and reads them a story before bed. When the young girls are asleep, Anne reaches out to her husband. She leaves him a recorded message. Anne goes to Theo's room and discovers a tape recorder and notes. She's determined to conceal any proof of their intimate relationship. Later, she takes the girls to the horse riding club. Anne is anxious about her husband's lack of response to her call. While driving, the heroine's phone vibrates. Anne searches for it in her bag without stopping. The car skids off the road. They make their way back home in a taxi and notice Pierre has arrived. The girls discuss their mother's involvement in the car accident. The family gathers for dinner. Pierre tells the kids a tale about a mouse that gnawed through a pipe in the cabin. He concludes the story by stating that some things are beyond repair. The father looks at his wife, sensing a deeper message in the tale. Once the kids were tucked in, the couple settled in for a conversation. Pierre shared with his wife the details of Théo's admission. He revealed that Théo and Anne had been spending a lot of time together. The blonde disagreed with him, citing that her husband wouldn't believe her since Théo had provided specific details. Anne left the room to retrieve her belongings. She was frustrated with her husband's trust in Pierre. Anne disclosed to her husband about the theft that the man had orchestrated. Pierre acknowledged his hasty judgment. He embraced his wife and shed a few tears. The following morning, the couple occupied the living room. They planned to confront Théo about his behavior. Pierre expressed his desire for his son to cease his deceitful actions towards his stepmother. Anne cautioned the son to think before acting. The father urged the son to make amends. This provoked Théo's anger. Pierre took his son away to a boarding school. The daughters were distressed by their parents' choice. In the subsequent scene, Théo visited Anne at her job. He insisted on her admitting to an affair between them. Anne defended herself, stating her desire for him to inform her father that the fabricated story about their relationship was untrue. Théo vowed to tarnish the woman's image. On the day of Christmas, Sarah visits Anne's home. Sarah presents the attorney with flowers, expressing her thanks to the protagonist for her assistance. Mina, Pierre, and the kids enjoy the festivities together. The sisters make up, and Anne is relieved that Mina has pardoned her for her relationship with Théo. Following the meal, everyone unwraps their gifts. Pierre presents the protagonist with a lavish bracelet. Anne is impressed by the present. Soon after, Anne and Théo arrive at the lawyer's place together. Anne has made up her mind to seek retribution against his stepmother for their illicit relationship.
Je vous dirais qu'au vu de la situation que je connais...
He aims to expose her wrongdoing. The blonde mentions that her co-worker's client is dishonest. The attorneys opt not to make the case public. Anne requests the documents and the settlement amount. Théo is displeased with the outcome of his scheme. In the late hours of the night, he visits Anne's residence under the influence of alcohol. He was interested in the woman. They spend a few moments together. The blonde returns to her spouse, who is still awake. Pierre inquires about the situation. Anne discusses her son's visit. She explains that she arranged for the man to take a taxi because he was intoxicated. However, the spouse notices that the woman did not freeze, and the story concludes.